I have found the easiest way to make a delicious apple pie, and the best news is you can get it done, all baked and ready to serve in 10 minutes. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today we are going to make our apple pie. This is a project that I've been working on because I wanted to figure out a way to make it super easy to make an apple pie where it doesn't take all day to do it. Because from start to finish, it can take hours to make an apple pie. And usually they take about 40-50 minutes to bake in the oven or even in the Ninja Foodi. So I decided I would break it down into steps, make the crust, blind bake the crust, then make the filling, which you can do days in advance. So it's really a huge time saver. And then we are going to put it all together today and put on a delicious crumb topping. For those of you that do not want to make your own pie crust, you can certainly get one that is refrigerated and then roll it out and blind bake it like I did. And I will link to that video right up there for you guys. Or you could even get one that's already prepared for you if you want to. That's no problem. I won't tell anyone, but I will tell you that the homemade crust is delicious. The other little cheat that you can do is to get a can of apple pie filling. Now this is from fresh apples. I made it in the Ninja Foodi, and it only took me, I would say, from start to finish, 15-20 minutes maybe to make it. It can be made up ahead of time. It can even be made up and frozen and then taken out and thawed before you want to make your pie. So I really suggest giving this one a try. It's super easy to do, but if you just don't have the time and you need to put a pie on your table in 10 minutes, this is the way you're going to do it. Get a couple of cans of apple pie filling from your grocery store. They just come in cans. Doctor it up a little bit. You know, add in some spices, maybe a little orange zest. Make it taste delicious, and then put it into your already made, prepared pie crust, and then we're gonna get the crumb topping on top. So easy to do. So let me grab a bowl here. Oh, and to make the pie filling, I will definitely link to that video right up there because, oh, it's so delicious. So easy to do. It's just put everything in the pressure cooker and pressure cook it for 0 minutes. Perfect. All right, so to make our crumb topping, we just need a few ingredients. I'm gonna put in 1/2 cup of oatmeal. This is not the quick oats, but I don't think it matters. Either one will be fine. 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1/4 teaspoon, whoops, I just spilled it. No worries. I've got my salt shaker here, or my salt thing. 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and then we need to put in 1/3 cup of very cold butter. So I've left it in the refrigerator until just before we're gonna incorporate it. So let me grab that, and then we will mix up this crumb topping and get everything into the Ninja Foodi. All right, so I broke the butter up into about teaspoon slices. I'm gonna use my pastry cutter, but you could do this with a fork. You can even do this with a mixer. So if you've got a KitchenAid mixer, you can throw everything in and let the paddle do the work. It's not as big of a deal as making the pie crust, so it doesn't matter if the butter, gets a little softer. But I do start out with cold butter because I think it cuts into the flour, combines with the flour, makes these nice little pebbles, just like the pie crust, and then it melts on top of the pie and the crumb topping, and it makes it super, super crispy and crunchy, and oh, it's just so delicious. Now you could also add some cinnamon to this, but because I have so much flavor in my filling, I don't want to compete with it. So I am keeping it without any seasonings except for that little bit of salt. But of course, you could add in whatever seasonings you wanted if you wanted to spice it up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the Ninja Foodi. I'm gonna put it on the air crisp setting, and we're gonna go to 375 and hit start. You don't have to preheat for a long time, but while I'm doing this, I might as well get it started to preheat. But you can do it right from a cold Ninja Foodi. I've done that before, and it works fine. All right, so what we're looking for here as we make this crumb topping is all these beautiful little crumbles and clumps of the butter and the flour and the sugar mixture and the oatmeal. And that's what creates our top. So I just try to make sure that all the flour, as much as I can get combined with the butter is, and I'll toss it around and see. Is there a whole bunch of loose flour? I'm not seeing much. This looks pretty good. So they're little pebbles. Looks beautiful. So we're ready to put our pie filling, and I'm going to do this off the rack just because I sometimes let things slip off the rack, and I don't want to do that today. All right. So now we're going to put in the pie filling, which is cold. Now, ordinarily, if you're making it right away after you make the filling, I just suggest letting it cool down to room temperature. But I just took this out of the refrigerator because you know what? I can warm up the pie after I do the topping if I want a warm slice. But I usually let my pie sit, you know, on the counter for a while after I put on the topping anyway, because I think it just tastes better. So I'm not worried that it's cold. But you could also warm it up. You could just put it in the microwave for a few minutes or in the Ninja Foodi on the bottom. All right, so this is 4 cups of pie filling. It fills this pie pan perfectly. You may not have the Fat Daddy-O 9-inch pie pan like I do. You might be using a different one. So, you know, you might need less of the filling. So just, you know, use your judgment on that. And now we just put the crumb topping on top. Personally, I prefer a crumb topping on my apple pie versus the pie crust. I just do. I really love a crumb topping. I made a cherry pie the same exact way, but made a cherry filling. Oh my gosh, I think it's Jeff's favorite pie ever. All right, now hopefully we've got enough butter here on top, and we'll see, we'll find out. I think so though. Maybe I'll put a few more little pebbles there. Because if you got a lot of just the dry mixture and not the butter to melt in with it, you'll just have some spots on your pie that don't look like they're incorporated as well. But it looks pretty good. All right, we'll get it on the rack and we'll get it into the Ninja Foodi, and it takes about 10 minutes on 375 air crisp to bake this crumb topping on. All right, there we go. So we'll check it in about 5 minutes. All right, let's give it a peek. Oh, it looks beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this is gorgeous, but I'm gonna keep going a little bit longer. I hope I don't regret that. I mean, that's only been like 5 minutes or so. Gosh. You know, I was just thinking, why is it cooking faster? Oh, because I preheated a little bit, and I didn't before. So it's going to take less time if you have it preheated while you're assembling your pie. So I'm thinking it's going to be done in about 7 or 8 minutes instead of between 10 and 12. So this is so super fast. I absolutely love this recipe. Do I tempt fate? I don't know. It looks so good. I'm going to take it to 10 minutes. You know, it's interesting. I think I was at 16 minutes. I'll have to play this back and find out. This has gone really fast. I love it. Love it, love it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's simply gorgeous. Love it. So you can see where when I blind baked the crust, go ahead and turn that off, I didn't get it real brown on the edges because I knew I would be putting this topping on, and now it is just browned. Everything looks absolutely beautiful, but we do need to wait. So I just want to let this top cool a little bit before I cut into it, and then we're going to take a nice little slice, and I'll let you know how it tastes. This is going to be so perfect, and it's so beautiful. I don't even want to cut it. Oh my gosh. But we must cut it, right? All right, the top is perfect. It's cutting perfectly. It's hard to cut the first piece of pie, especially with a crumb top. So I'm gonna try to be careful here. Oh my gosh. Make sure I really got it. Oh. Can I slip this under? Don't judge me for this one, okay? The second one will be better. And I'm trying not to scratch up the bottom of my pan too much, but I do have a non-stick knife that I use a lot of times, but I really want this to come out cleanly. So I'll sacrifice a little scratch. Okay, moment of truth. Can I lift this out and up and have it come out as a nice piece of pie? Oh my goodness, yes it is. Oh, friends, that is perfect. I'm so excited about this, and to think that I can put it together ahead of time, even have the pie crust frozen, because you can make up pie crust and freeze it, have the apple filling, and then go right into the kitchen after dinner and say, I'm gonna whip up an apple pie and have it take literally 10 minutes or less. Yeah, that's my kind of dessert. All right, but it doesn't matter how beautiful it is, and it is gorgeous. It looks just like an apple pie, because it is. Let's see what it tastes like. That's the real important part. Oh my word. Hands down, the best apple pie I've ever had. And I'm eating it for the first time right now because, you know, I made the pie crust, I tested the pie crust, I tested the pie filling, I put it together, I tried a different kind of topping, it didn't work. I made a cherry pie, used the crumb topping, it was delicious. So I said, I'm putting that crumb topping on the apple pie, and it is perfect. Oh my gosh, the flaky pie crust. Hands down, the best apple pie I've ever had. Hands down, like I'm gonna keep saying that. The spices are perfect. Please make your own pie filling. Spend the time, use the Ninja Foodi. Whether you buy the crust or make your crust, that doesn't really matter as much as making that filling because it's absolutely perfect in this pie. Happy baking.